Hey, Print Hustlers, Bruce from Printavo, simple shop management software. Today we're talking about increasing sales to be able to help you close more deals and just juice up your revenue of incoming jobs. Now, this is an exciting topic because we rolled out a brand new feature around quote management to better help you increase your sales. Now, everything here about this is about creating a really good repetitive sales process that knocks on the fundamental pieces of sales. And one of those is just following up and following up consistently and multiple times. You're busy. You as a shop owner are busy. You're doing 10 different things. You've got things going on operationally, from a sales perspective, from a people perspective, from just a macroeconomic, especially now perspective, right? So you're busy. Now, just like you, your customers are also busy. So following up isn't bad. You're not bugging anybody. You're just reminding them that you're there to be able to help them out, be able to achieve their goals. So if following up is so important, how do we do it? And more importantly, if you have people that are account reps or sales reps at your shop that are also selling work, how do you help them to be able to do it to make sure that it's getting done? Well, in Printavo, we just rolled out this brand new quote management feature to be able to help you do that. And I want to show you some best practices if you're using Printavo or if you're not using Printavo that you can be able to craft on your own too, to be able to help you guys increase your quote to sales ratio. Now, of course, you don't close every single quote coming to your shop, right? It could be 20%, it could be 30%. There's a percentage there of jobs that you're able to convert. This is going to be able to help you increase that conversion and for you to see some visibility around it. So that's why it's really exciting to talk about. So in Printavo, we use what's called job statuses to know where a job is in your workflow at any time. Most shops use this more on the production end to be able to keep track of where everything's at, but we are actually going to start using this on the quoting side to be able to help you create stages of the quote. So it's not just a quote that you have. You actually have multiple stages of where the quote is in your workflow, and that's why it's so big. So we need to create a few statuses here in Printavo first. Again, if you're not using Printavo, you can be able to do this in any other tool that you are using and be able to mimic exactly what this is. Here are some really, really good best practices here. The whole idea of this is we want to encourage that repetition of following up 2 times with them. In Printavo, you can set this up to automate it via email or text message or both. We'll walk through that here, but of course, they can manually do it if you're doing this outside of Printavo as well. The first here is we created 6 actually of these statuses here. So with these statuses, what we want to create are different stages to a quote. And each stage is what's going to allow you to be able to track the dollar amount going through each of these stages. So the first one is quote out for approval. Very simple, right? This is when you send that quote to the customer to get their approval on the dollar amounts on that job. Now, the second one, though, is that a lot of times jobs are going to sit there. You're going to send that out for approval and you may never hear back, probably the majority of the time. Do you know how many dollars are sitting out for approval? Well, creating the status here is going to really be able to help you do that. The next one here is this follow-up. So if it's out for approval and you didn't hear back and you see jobs in that status, which I'll show you how that works, you'll then send it over here, follow-up 1. I actually put this in email in parentheses, and the reason is because we're going to create automation around this. We're going to automatically send an email out. Now, the next thing here is follow-up 1 text. This is going to send a text message out, and we're going to set that up in a second here too. Follow up 2. This is how we, again, create that process, that repetitive process of following up. This is the second time here. And then we have 2 lost quote options. So we want to be able to really understand, why are we losing quotes, right? So we shouldn't be leaving jobs in this quote out for approval stage. We should follow up until we know why we lost that job and what was the reasoning. So you can either say, hey, maybe our prices are too high, or okay, this is fine. We didn't want that job because it wasn't profitable for us anyway. And then of course, no response to, which then is a good opportunity for you to be able to get creative, right? Find out ways to be able to reach out, or why didn't they respond? Maybe they weren't the ideal customer fit, and you can dig into that. Of course, you can add as many different statuses as you like for different lost quote type of reasons, or more follow-ups if you'd like as well. So we'll hit save there, and we've got that rolling. Now make sure that on the right hand side, if you're using Printavo, that you check these off. These means that these are quotes, and you'll want that there, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Now if I go back into my account, which is where all the settings are, I'm going to go to status change notifications. If you want to automate sending an email or text message when that status is selected, this is where you're going to set up that automation. So when you select that status, that message or notification will go out to the customer for you. I'm not going to set this up right now, and the reason is because I think to get very good follow-up, you need to send something personal, something that will catch their eyes, something that's related to the job. If you do, again, just want a more general follow-up, which a lot of shops do to help save time, you could just select it right here. Send customer a text message, and you can select it and type in some information. Or follow up via email, send customer an email right there. Now we're going to go into our quotes page. So however you're monitoring this quote workflow in Printavo, it's going to be on that quotes page. This is your quote pipeline. Okay, very important now that you can be able to see each of these statuses that are quote-based statuses here at the top. Your goal is to get dollars to move from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. This makes it very easy if you have a sales team as well now, because you're going to say, okay, guys, you guys are quoting jobs. Awesome. You've got $16,000 worth of quotes in here. Perfect. That's great. But we need to move them through our funnel, through our pipeline. I need you to get them into follow-up 1. Then I need you to get them into follow-up 2. And then you need to tell me, why didn't we get that job? And this repetitive process right here is how I assure you, you will be able to increase sales, because again, people are just busy. You will be able to help close more sales with this. So if you go through this process, let's say we open up this job here, you can then be able to send them a message again and be able to follow up. Now you could have templates to be able to help you send this, but a great follow-up would be, hi John, we sent you a quote last Thursday. Again, time frame, by the way, is very important. Follow up. These jobs are all coming very quickly. They need them next week, right? Everybody's needing things ASAP, as you know. So make sure you follow up and do that follow up next day, 2 days after max, but make sure that goes in there. So we sent the follow up quote last Thursday about your dog hotel order. We're excited to work with you on this, but we need an approval ASAP to get things moving forward. Did you have any questions on the quote I can help with? If not, just hit approve and we'll get moving, right? And then be able to send. So perfect. Then you'd hit send right there. And then once you hit send, you move it to the next step. So we followed up. Perfect. Done. Now, as you notice, because I put that follow up in there, it's going to show up as well under the follow up. And because this is a $0 order, which let me just put in an example, few numbers here so you guys can see that. Under the quote stage now, you'll see that $25 is under the follow-up email right here now too. And you can always click it and be able to go through those and then move them to follow-up too. That is the process. Share this video with your sales rep, with your team, to be able to really be able to try it. Give it a go. I'm telling you, you're going to see an effect. Run it for 2 months. Be consistent with it. As the owner, you can be able to see your guys moving those dollars through that pipeline. It's going to be exciting. If you have any other comments or questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to be able to hear it.